Okay, so remember when we were talking about when we were talking about doing saving your styles for your design so that you can actually, it's going to make your flow very easy and all of that, creating style guides and design system and all of that. So then before, if you want to start doing it, you would do it manually, yeah. We know that one of the ways you can decide to look for color palettes and start saving them one after the other, which is not actually bad. But then Figma has made it very easy for us to do it. So we're talking about variables. So what exactly are variables? Like what are variables? Variables are just like placeholders that allows us to store and reuse values across all our design file. So they are actually very good. Variables are actually very good in maintaining um, consistency. And if you want to make any change, you can make the change and it will say cut across all all fees of your design. So what are the things that we normally note in variables? We have the color variables, we have the strings variables, we have the number variables, and we have the booleans. So for colors, it's just like you trying to save your brand colors and all of that, all the colors you need for your design, and then you store it there. Then we have the strings that's mostly for text. If you want to create a text variable, you can easily do that. And then we have the numbers variable that are used to add things like spacing, size, font size, and all of those other ones. Then we have booleans. So for booleans, it's more like you using it for a true or false kind of design. So if you want to do something like a true, you want this to show if true, yes. So we know the way we do our components. Like if we want to do something like a checkbox and all of that, one will be clicked and the other one will not be clicked. Even for our toggle on and off, the way you do that. So I'm sorry guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me very well?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So how do you create variables? So if I select this particular object, um, if I select this particular object, you won't be able to do that. You won't see the variables. But for you to see variables, you need to ensure that nothing is clicked on this board. So you can come here, then you see local variables. Where you see this, you just click on open variables. So once you open variables, you'll be able to see the things that you want to do for it. So so if you want to check what is existing, you just need to click this. So let me delete this particular, I've deleted everything. So now let's say I want to create a variable. So for you to create a variable, so what you need to do is to come here and then you can see create a variable. Now, let's say I want to save all of these colors that we have here. So there are some things you can also use variables to do. So when you talk about using variables, you can use it for. Recently, I discovered that you can use it. One of the key things you can use it for is to make your light and dark mode very seamless and simple to achieve. So there's something we call, this is how to create a variable. Just come here and click on create variable. Then you have the option to click the color, the number, the strings, and the boolean. Now we have collections. What are collections? Collections are just like a place where you keep different types of information, different types of variables. So let's take a collection like a folder. Let's say it's a box, and you get to put all your items in that particular box. That's what collection is. Now for variable, there are a few collections that you need to always put in mind when you're creating. The first one, they are base colors. Figma said it's advisable to name them as primitive colors. So these ones are like the folders where you have all of your basic colors. Then we have color tokens, or they are called semantic colors. For this, it's where you just put in special kind of colors that are used to reference one another. Then we have the number tokens, where you get to put sizes, measurement, and all of that. Then device token. So with variable, if you understand how variable works, you'll be able to use it to do responsive designs. But though it's still something I'm still also trying to get across to. But for the meantime, we'll just talk about how to use colors and all of that. Now, if you want to save colors, I know that most times what you do, the primary way of doing that is you get to, let's say you want to be able to save colors on variables. First way to get colors is maybe you pick up a rectangle and then You let's say this is my primary color. Yeah, I pick my primary color. After picking my primary color, I'll now come here, maybe go to plugins, and I'm going to use tint and shade to be able to bring up all of those different colors one after the other, right? But I learned a simple way from doing it from one of my mentors. So one thing it will tell you to do is there's a website called Swatchy. So it's called Swatchy. How many persons have heard of this website? Swatchy.26.studio. So let me send it on the chat. So I come to this particular place, and what I'm going to do is remember that for variable we want to create we want to create some colors and all of that. So I'm going to pick this color, I'm going to copy it, and I'll come to this swatching part, and then I'll come to where I have add color, and I'll click on edit, and then I'm going to add my color code here. So I'm going to rename this to be so which color is it? This is purple. So I'm going to say purple. So first of all, before I start creating any color, I want to look for light and dark mode. So I want to look for a light and dark mode color palette. Okay, so I'll go with this one that I can see. So this is similar to what I have. I think this is what I used initially. So I'll come here and I'll paste this here first. So I want to be able to use this particular color. So this now, when I come to swatching, I'll get to name this as, is this color purple or blue? I'll name it purple. I'll name it as my purple lights. There's an echo. Can you hear it now? Can you hear me now very well?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to name this my purple color, but then I'll not just name it as purple color. I'll put purple and I'll rename it as light mode or purple light. Anything I want to do. Then you can give it the number of colors that you want, the range, and all of these things. So once you're done, you click on done. Then you get to add another color. So let's go back to Figma, and so this color I want to do for my dark mode. So I'm going to select this particular color for my dark mode, purple. So I'll come to this place also. I'll still edit and I'll paste this particular color here. And I'll call this my purple dark mode. Dark. And then I'll click on done. And there's one more color I need to add, which is gray. So a I'll look for a color that I can use for gray, something like this. Or is it, yeah, let me use this one, 595959. So I'm going to copy it. Sorry, I'm going to copy this, Control C, and then I'll come here and I'm going to paste it, and I'll call it white gray. So now I have these three colors. Guys, please let me confirm something. Okay. So one thing you need to note is there are some things, this dark mode and light mode is not going to work if you're using free version of Figma. So there's something I do most times is I go to what's it called? Figma for education. So how many persons have tried it? If you go to Figma for education, you can be able to apply as a student and you will get access to Figma Pro version as a student. So this is my own education version, my own Pro, or should I say my own Pro version that I'm using. So now I have these colors. I have my purple dark, I have my purple light, and I have my purple gray. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to download. I'll come here and download Figma variables. So, but before I do that, um, let me be sure that I don't have something that is going to make me not to know which of them. All right, so I've deleted what I want to delete. Then I'll come here and I'll download this. Download Figma variable. So after downloading it, I'll come back to my Figma and then come to this part, there's a plugin called variables import. So I'll just import my variables. So I'm going to drag what I have. So I'm just going to come to my box, and then I'll drag this and I'll paste it here. So after dragging and pasting, you can see that you can see what's on my screen, which is you have 33 variables that was created. So I'm just going to close this. Now that I have 33, I'm just going to close it, and I can delete this, right? I don't need this again. So now how do I do it? How do I link what I downloaded in my Figma to what I already have? So I'll come to local variables and I'll click on it. So then I'll come to this part where I have collection. There you can see this, you can see all of the colors that I imported. You can see them, the different colors from the dark to the light. So I'll come here and I'll rename this. So if you want to rename, you can double click and rename. So you come here and rename, and then I'm going to name it as primitive. Remember what I said about Figma wanting you to name as primitive for your base color. So I'm going to name it as primitive. So after naming it as primitive, I have different colors here. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to hold and copy the first one, then come to where I have the last one, light, and then I'll right click and make it a new group. And in the group, I'll call it purple. The same thing that I want to call it purple dark mode. Oh, this is light. Sorry, purple light mode. Then I'll do the same for the next one. I'll click from the light and I'll come here to where I have the end, to the end of it. Oh, okay. So I'll go back to all variable. Then I'll see the dark. Then I'll still do the same thing, and I'll right click and
Right.
I'll see, and I'll rename it to purple dark mode. Then I'll click outside, and then I'll come to all variables again. Then I'll see my gray color. Then I'll get to do the same for it. I'll create a new group and I'll see my gray color. Now, there are also colors that I need to create, right? Which is I'll come to where I have all variables, and then I'm going to now come to this part where I have create variables, and then I'll click on create variables. Then I'll create a color variable. So I'll see it on top. So I want to create my neutral colors or my base. So I'm going to call this white, and so since it's white, then out you can either hold down shift and enter to duplicate. So I'll call this one my black. So what color am I using for my black? So I'll just look for a color to use for my black. Let's say 1B, and I'll call it black. And then I would pull the two together again and group it, and I would say new group selection, and I would say these are like my neutral colors. Just say neutral. So if you still need more colors, you still get to create variables. So I'll go to all variables, neutral color. So I'll bring it inside. I'll bring it up here to be under colors. So if I close this box, I have all of my color palettes saved here. So remember that I said if you want to do for numbers, you can actually save for rounded corners and all of that, depending. So for today, we'll just be looking at colors. Can you guys see me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So today this is we'll just be looking at colors and few other things. So now that I've finished creating this for colors, now okay, so there's still more that I need to create. Which is, remember that if you're using your dark mode, most of your colors they are going to be white. Most of your text properties will mostly be white and all of that. So you can use from this, okay, gray 100 and all of that, but sometimes it's also advisable that you create them separately. So I'll still come and create color, and I'll say this is my white, and I'll come here. So I can decide to say white 80, and then I'll come here and I'll reduce the opacity to 80. So I'll do the same, hold down enter and shift to copy it. Then I would say this is 70. So you can just create different variation of the white in case you need it. And then remember that if you want to also create your accent colors, your errors and all of that, you have to create them under primitive color variables. So I'll still hold and enter to duplicate the last one. So I'll just create for 50 or 60, and I'll reduce this here to 60. So then I'll just still do the same thing, group them, and I might just call this mm, so what name should I call it? Someone should suggest it. Is it white, abstract white, or so remember that any name we call it. So let me just call it abstract white. And so I have it here. I'll just drag it into the color, and you can see that I have all of my colors here. Now this is where the real work comes in place, because you can't just do all of these things and you would be able to use them like that. It's not possible. So that's where you now need to actually do what we call semantics. So you now get to make them a token for you to be able to use them. So how do you create a token? All you need to do is to come back to this place, and maybe I'll just get to rename this collection. I'll rename this one to the tokens. So if I come to variables, I have primitive and I have tokens. So let's say for instance we want to so we are using this what we have here. So what I'm going to do now under tokens, I'm going to create a new variable and I'll name it color. And so first of all, before you start creating a token and all of that, if you have the different things that you have to list them out, or you have to know what you have. Now for this card, we have the image. This is an image, so there's no color that I need to deal with it. So I have something like I have like the background. You can see the background. What do I have again? Background color. I have my button color. I have my text color, and I have this other color. So this is my text color, and this is my price color. So I'll just start listing them under the variable. So I just come to variable, create new variable, right? I have color. So now instead of I'll come here and I'll rename this to be background, then I'll come to this part and I'll click on the color. Then I'll go to libraries, and I'm now going to under libraries, I'm now going to set my background. So my background should be white, right? So I'm going to put white. I'm going to put white. So you can see that I've actually tokenized this particular thing. So now I'll still do the same thing, shift and enter to rename it, to duplicate it. Then I'll come here and I'll say what do I have again? I have my text, so I'll say text name, or should I say ice cream name, or text what's this called please? Text header. So I'll click on this to select my header text. So I think I'm using black for my header. So I'll just get to pick black, neutral black. Then I'll do the same thing. I'll hit enter again, and I'll say text price. Text price is still black. Then I'm going to leave it at that. Then I'll do again enter. Then I'll say text description, text description. Then I'll change my description to Where is my gray? So I'm going to use this particular gray 700. So what do I have again on this card? So you get to itemize all of the things you have in the card. So what do I have again? So button. So I'm going to do enter and I'll say button. Button background. So for our button background, what are we using? We are using this color. We are using our base color. This is what we have here. This is our base, purple base. So then I'll do the last thing, which is hit enter, and then I'll say button text, and I'll say for the text, which is add to cart, right? Button text. What color are we using for it? It's white. So I'll just get to save my white. Sorry, not the tokens, the colors white. So now that you see that I've actually done this, so now the next thing is if you want to create modes, this is where you can now create mode. So you can see this plus button here, so you can create a mode from this. And so I'm just going to name this as light mode, and I'm going to name this as dark mode. I'll just say dark, light and dark. So now what am I going to do? I'm going to change all of these. So for my dark mode, my color is not supposed to be white. So my background color is supposed to be black, right? And then for my text header is supposed to be something around should I say white? So depending on what you put here, so I'll just put this gray 50. And then for my text price too, I'll still do the same thing, gray 50. And then I'll come to my text description. So my text description too should be like a gray, but I'm going to make it like, so you can always change them. I'm thinking of what to use for this. Okay, yeah, we set what's it called, um white, so I'm going to use the white 60%. Then for my button, so my button I'm going to use the dark base. And for the button itself, what am I using? Am I using black? Or so let me just try black. So now that we've set all of these things, so I can now close it. So all I need to do is I need to come to my for I need to come to this part, and then I get to change my field to my tokens. So the background should be this. So I've changed it. Then I come to this one and I'll do the same thing. I'll change it to text header, and I'll do the same thing. I'll change this to text price, and I'll do the same thing here. And I'm going to change this to text description, and I'll do the same thing here. I'll change it to text description. Oh, sorry, text description. Then I'll come here and I'll change this to button, and I'll do the same thing here and I'll change it to button. So now I have this. So let's imagine that I need to, so let me change this particular let me change this so that we can see what we want to see. So let's say I bring this in here, and I have this. So I can come to this iPhone 14, and I'll come to this part where I have layers. You see tokens. Then I'll change it to light mode. Then I can duplicate this, and I'll change this one to, I'll come here and I'll change it to dark mode. So you can see how I was able to change that. So now that I have this, so if I pick up this and I take this in here, you would see that it automatically changed to dark mode. Once I bring it here, it will change back to light mode. So you get it. So you don't even need to do you just need to do one design, be able to say change everything you want to change, and automatically you can switch between light and dark mode. So is there any question, guys? Yes. So if you want to be able to switch like that, you should change the frame itself. You should change the frame to what's it called? You should take the frame. You should change the frame to contain the mode. But you can still do, if you do it on this text, if you do it on this text, it's still the same thing. So on this text, if I come here and I change the text to say if I come here and I change what I have here, the tokens to, it's already on auto. That's if I change it to dark mode, it will change here. But if you want to do this seamless moving like this and it changes, you just need to use the frame for that. So is there any question? Is there any question so far before we move on? Okay, none for me. Oh, okay, sure. Yes, sure. You can use the color. So all you need to do is remember that once you are creating anything, you have to now set the color. So you have to set so yeah, you can still come and create a new variable and you create a color and say, let's say the color is for what's it called? For let's say your image, you want your image. Yes, you can use it for all of that. So all you need to do is where you have it, you just list them out. The way I listed this on my card, I have background, I have this. So if you're doing it for your nav bar, you should be able to list all of those things. Okay, so yes, you need to create a color style first because it's a color style that you use to reference your token. So now the good thing about it is some of you will be asking now, how is it different from style? Now you see that if you create a style, let's say you create a blue color and you save it as blue. If you go on the design, all right. So let's try something like that. So let's say I have this and I save this as blue, or let's say I have this as red and I save it as a style, and I save it as a style. Sorry, and I name it to be red. Yes, that's the primitive. So, and I named this to be red. Now, you know that if I want to change something here, if I want to change, and I've used this across all my designs, and there is like a mix up, I need to change something. If I come to this and I come to style and I try to edit my style to sorry, where is that place to? And I come to edit my style. Let's say, and I now change the color of all the image, all the things I use for this style would actually automatically change. But for using variables now, for instance, you know that you set different colors or you already set different things for different styles. So let's say, for instance, I want to change this color, just the button, and I already mentioned in my variables that my button background is this. Now I can still use this background for another place. Let's take for instance, let me change this um header. Let me change my header to our primary, our purple lights. So let's say, let me change my header to our purple lights, for instance, and I come here, you can see if I come here and I come here and I say the header is changing to purple light, you can see that it has changed. Now, if I want to go, let me check the name of this color, button background. Okay, let me change it to button background so that we'll understand. So if I come back here to my header and I change it to button background, and I change it to button background, for instance, and I change it to button background, you can see that it has changed. And let's say along the line, I found out that I want to change this particular card instead. I can still come to this and change my card without it affecting. Oh, sorry. So there's a mistake I made. If you watch closely, you will notice that instead of using the styles, I went to instead of using the primitive, I went to reference a token. So that's why it changed with it. So let's go back to this. So I use this as this. So you see that these two colors, they are the same. If I want to change my button today and I change my button to blue, it doesn't affect the first color. It doesn't affect the first color. So you can change things in your tokens for easily. You can change it easily. So no, it's not going to affect it. It's not going to actually affect it until you change it. So you know that you use your primitive to create a token. Yeah, you use your primitive to create a token. So once you're doing what you're doing in local styles is you trying to reference a particular style on it, like you're trying to link them together, tokenize them. So if you make a change on this particular button, let's say you change your button, all your buttons will change. But unlike styles that once you have this as your primary color, if you're changing it, everything will change. I can have this as my primary color and I can use it in two different places. And if I go now to change it on one, it's just going to change on the part that I changed it and not on all the items that have the same color. Let's say all the items in this box, they have the same purple color. And remember that I already listed them to background. I group them to background, to text, to button. And I'm making change on my button. Remember that my button and the background, they are the same color, for instance. If I'm making change on my button, it's only my button that will change, not the whole item that has the same color. So that's it. You said I should go back to show how you create a token. So for you to create a token, all you need to do is you come to this variable, and then you first of all create a variable. For instance, you create a okay. So when you come to your variable, we have primitive. So all you need to do is to first of all create a new collection. So once you create a new collection, you click on new collection, you change it to tokens. Then you start the process of creating variable. So once you click on create variable, you then come to this side, and once you click on it, you would you now get to come to this plan to now pick the primitive colors. You will get to see it. You see the primitive, like you see the name primitive. Then you now choose any of the primitive color that you want to use to get that. But if we change the color at the primitive, will it change in the token? So let's go back to our primitive. Yeah. So that's a good question. So let's go back to our primitive and let's try it first hand. Let's say now this is my primitive light 50, and I change. So which color did you use to reference? Oh, did we use black here? Let me see in my token if we use black. I want something that will easily see. Yes, we use black. So let me come back to my primitive. So where we have black, instead of black, we change it to purple and leave it like that. And then we'll come to our design to see for ourselves. So can you see? Can you see that it changed? The place that I used black, it's changed actually. So let me go back to my local variable and go back to my token. So all the places that I used black, it changed. It changed. All right, so yes, it works like color style, but it's more flexible. You get it's more flexible because you can actually do so many things with it. Aside this, so there's another thing we need to now try our hands on. So let me go back to where did I change this? Primitive, and I changed. Let me go back to black, please. And go back to our black and tokens, and change this to black. So the place we even use black is in So text header, let me go back to my text header and change it to my black. All right, so this is it. This is it. So aside using this, so aside creating this, now this is under your tokens, right? You can decide to now create you can see group them. So I can decide to group all of these and call it color tokens. So let's imagine that you're working for a company that they want you to so let me create a variable and let's create a string variable. So what's a string variable? A string variable is for text. Um, so so let's say I have this text and I want to now call it. So what's my text? What should I name this? Header. So let me say header. No, it's not just useful for switching between light and dark, but like I said, you can use it to do responsive design. So you can decide to create different frames, and once you use one frame and you switch and you put on another frame, it will automatically take that frame. So let's say I have header, and let's say I want to create different languages. And under header, I have the first one. I have CodeStone, for instance. Control C. I have CodeStone, and I'll come here and I say CodeStone. Control V. CodeStone. So let's say I want to create so okay, yeah. So let's say I have CodeStone. For instance, I want to be able to change this in French. So let me come to Google and I'll say CodeStone in French. Is there anything like a translator? So let me see, like a translator, like a translator. Okay. So I want it to translate to let's say Hausa. So and I come here and I type CodeStone. This is CodeStone in Hausa. So I'm going to copy it and then I'll come to my Figma and I'll paste this here. So the next one is what again should we have here? We have price. So I'll create another text string and I'll say price. And what's the price that we have here? We have this 5,000 something. So I'll then come here and I'll paste this. I'll paste the price, Control V, and then I'll come to this same place and I'll translate this to Hausa. So it's still the same amount. So I'll just put the same value here. So what again do I have? We have available in Dominoes. So I'll still create a new string and I would say what the description and I'll copy it and I'll say available in Dominoes. Control C. So the first one is available. So I'll just put available first. So I'm going to rename this as description one, available in, and I'll go back to my translator and I'll get to translate this. So I'll copy it and I'll come back to my Figma and I'm going to paste this and then I'll duplicate it the same way. Then what's supposed to be here? Dominoes. So I'll copy Dominoes and I'll come here and I'm going to paste dominoes. Then I'll come to my translator, and I'm also going to paste it and see the translation, and then I'll Control V. So this is going to help you if you have different people that are. So the next one is enter add to cart, right? Add to cart. Let's say cart button text. Sorry. So I'm now going to come here and I'll say add to the Control C, and then I'll come here. Say button text. Okay, so let me just say text. So I'll paste this add to cart, then I'll come to translator and I'll do the same thing. Add to cart, then I'll copy it and I'll come here and I'll paste it. So I have all of these variables. So what I'm going to do is let me group them again, and I'm going to call them my text. So let's call them my text. So let me so I'll bring this out here so that it will be on it their own. This is color and this is text. So for this I would say English and Hausa for instance. Now I have these two. So let's go back to use our text. So I'll come here and I'm going to now change this token to so I'll come to this text where we have text, and then I'll change this to header as code stone. Then I'll come here and I'll do the same thing. I'll take where's the text? The text part, then I'll take the price, then I'll do available in, I'll still come here and description one, I'll put it there. Then I'll come here to, I'll do the same thing, description to Domino's, I'll put it there. Then I'll come to my add to cart and I'll take my add to cart text. Now just see how this is going to play out. So let's say I move this here. So I have this. Now let me apply the next one. So if I come here under my layers, I can now apply outer to it automatically. Can you see that it has changed to outer? So let me duplicate this. It changed to outer but under what change to outer, so this English. So you can see it. So if I bring this down here, it changes to Hausa. If I bring this down here, it changes to English. So you can decide to apply. So for now, what did I apply? Hausa. Okay, so you need to apply it on the text. Sorry, I went to apply it on this. So let me apply. Let me change this what's it called? This token to let me change this token to let me change this token to tokens English and Hausa. So so that's basically it. Once I come here, I switch to Hausa. I come here, I switch back to English and all of that. Yeah, I think that's I need to check my variables. Text variables English and Hausa. So let me come back to this and all right. So one something is actually I did something wrong here, which is creating I was supposed to create it on another, so you get. So I was supposed to create it. I was supposed to come here and I'll create a different.
collection, and I would have named it text. So this is where I was supposed to create it on a different collection, but then I went to create it under my tokens. So that's why I have this. So let me see if I can, let's get to redo this. Um, delete. So I'll come back here and I'm going to say text, and I'm going to now start creating it from afresh. So the first one is code stone, header, code stone, and English, Hausa. So code stone, translator. Oh, it's the same for code stone, right? Code stone is the same for code stone. It's not the same. So why is this not translating? Code stone in. Let's do another language like French and see. Yeah, code stone in French. Oh, no wonder. So let's do French instead of Hausa. So I'll just type this here and I'll paste this here. Control V, and I'll say this is French. And then I'll do the same for fries. What is the fries that we have here? Control C, Control V. The fries is supposed to be the same, right? Let me see, sha. Because French and Hausa is not the same. It's the same. Control V. Then shift and enter. What's the next text available in? That's description one. Description one. Available in translator. Uh, description two. What is it? Dominoes. Dominoes. And then the last one is text B. That's button. Add to cart. Control V, and then so you can have more than one mode. You can have more than one mode, right? You can have English, Yoruba, depending on what you want to do. But for us, let's just take one and get to it. Control V. Oh, I've gone to paste it the wrong place. Control V. All right. So now that we have all of this, you can decide to group them here or just leave it and say text. So there's no need even grouping it at this point because it's the same thing. So now let's go back to okay, let me remove this thing. This one I'm saying what was it called? French and the rest of them. So let me come back here and do what I need to do. So let's see our token. I've deleted English and Hausa now. What is this still doing here? Oh, so after creating this, um so this is, well, um and also one thing you need to note is it's still in its beta mode. So there are some things that might decide to behave like village people, because I've deleted English and Hausa, and I still can see it here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've deleted English and Hausa. You can't see it in my variable. So one thing you need to note is it's still in its beta mode. You can see it. So there are some things that you'd see that still wrong with it. So all right, so let me apply this thing again from starting. Let me apply all of this one to see if they are all applied now. So why is it giving me English and Hausa vibe? It's still this thing is still changing to Hausa. Oh. Anyways, so I just assume that we now understand the process of how to automatically convert your dark and light mode. Then you can do what is it called? You can change languages if you have people that if you have people that are in France that wants to test your design, you should be able to do the French version for them. Yeah, so maybe it's from them. I don't know, it's from them. But you've seen the way to create it. If you want to create for text, you use strings, right? If you want to create for colors, you use colors. Yes, in tokens. So you've seen how to do it. Is there any question? Any question so far? You can also read about it. You can read more about it and all of that. So now my own question is, would you prefer to use this than color styles? Because you see that I did not even create. I just had to go to Swatchy, copied my color, imported it without getting to create it. The only stress that I had to go through is to now start applying. Not really stress, but once you do it, even if it's a full website that you have, like, let's say for instance you have yeah, let's say for instance you have this, you have what's it called, your onboarding screen and all of that. You can just copy everything and bring it down and just change the mode, and everything will turn to dark mode, instead of getting to now start racking your brain to start changing colors one after the other and all of that. You can just easily do that, but it takes time actually. Yeah, it takes time, but it's worth the time, because if you're able to set 1 hour to set all of these things, it will just be like a copy and paste, a drag and drop and all of that. So the next phase that we are going to go into is how to now use it for responsive design, because you also use it for responsive design where, let's say for instance you have I you have a mobile app. You can just move it to you have a website, sorry, you can just move it to a tablet frame, and it will take you can just switch mode to tablet and it will turn to tablet. You switch mode to what's it called, to text to iPad. Yes, you can do for size too, but we are not going to do that today. So this is a new feature, and I'm also still familiarizing myself with it. So I wouldn't come to teach what I don't fully understand. So once I'm able to understand for responsive design, then we'll get to do responsive design, so that it will be very easy for you to just be chilling and just design for landing page. Once you design, just drag and drop after setting all of your standard. So you can also use it for what's it called, you can use it, so let me just show us.
For instance, let me go back to variable. Thank you. So let me go back to variable and local variable. So you can see that you have what's it called, numbers. Now for these numbers, these are things that you can actually use it for. For numbers, you can decide to say, okay, so I don't really need, I think I need to create a new this thing. So if you look, if you come to this place and look, I don't need English and distinct version for numbers, so I'm supposed to create it separately on a different place. So but because I want to just show you something for numbers, these are the things that you can reference. You can do corner radius, so there's no need even applying your corner radius one after the other. You can just set a corner radius. You can even set grid system. You can set auto layout. You can say, okay, the gap should be 2, should be 20 by 20, should be this by this. And all you need to do is, after setting all of this, so you can decide to uncheck all of this and say, okay, you're setting this for just radius. So for any card you design, you want a corner radius, you can just use the number that you've already set to reference it. So you can see the different things that numbers can actually reference. You can reference text, you can reference gaps. So if I type something in, if I type something and I say I'm using 64 along the line, I decide to change it to 40, you can just apply it to your style, to your text, and it will take the number that you gave to it. So the thing is, the main deal is for you to be able to set them one after the other. Once you're done setting it, every other thing is a click and a dash flow. So we good? Are we good? So there's more to learn about these Figma variables. It's actually, there's more to learn, and would it's a cool feature if you know how to use it very well. And all right, so if there's no other question, we've gradually come to the end of today's class. So for Boolean, you can use it for your components, like um a true or a false. So its own way, you can also use it to say, okay, if for instance you have a landing page and there's a kind of image that you displayed, and you want to now display, you don't want to display it in mobile view, you can use that boolean feature or boolean variable to say, okay, when it gets to so frame, this particular number should hide. So today we've just talked about text and we've talked about text and strings. So we'll talk about numbers and booleans when next we have to do variables. So for now, just familiarize yourself around colors and text till we get to, we'll now look at boolean and number and how we can effectively use that particular one. So the two things you can use color and text to do is change language, dark mode and light mode, and that's it. So is there any question again? Is there any question again? Any other questions?